From the opening tip on May 6, 2026, the San Antonio Spurs matched up against the Minnesota Timberwolves in what promised to be an electrifying contest. Both teams were looking to make a statement as the season approached its final chapters. The Spurs, led by the ever-evolving talent of Victor Wembanyama, were seeking to solidify their position within the league's hierarchy. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves were equally motivated, featuring an array of sharpshooters and defenders, including the formidable Rudy Gobert and the versatile Julius Randle. With expectations high, both squads came out of the gates looking to impose their will. The atmosphere was charged, and neither side was ready to back down. The first quarter saw a back-and-forth battle, with both teams testing their offensive schemes and defensive alignments. Wembanyama, still finding his rhythm, aimed to set the pace for the Spurs, while McDaniels and Randle were hungry to light up the scoreboard for Minnesota. However, all eyes were on individual efforts, as the standout performers began to emerge amidst the grit and determination on display. As the game unfolded, the intensity on the court simmered with action. Though scoring came at a premium, the fight and ferocity did not wane. Each possession felt vital, with players diving for loose balls and contesting shots fiercely. It was this competitive spirit that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Unfortunately for viewers, the featured box scores of many top players became struck with an eerily absent number in the points column, as all standout talents struggled to find their names etched on the scoreboard. While the Spurs' Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, and Wembanyama weren't able to contribute on the offensive end as anticipated, the grit in defense was undeterred. And for the Timberwolves, stars like Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert echoed a similar sentiment as their own shot attempts fell short. Points were hard to come by, but the sheer effort and hustle echoed all throughout the arena, keeping the competition alive. As the game reached its halfway point, you could feel a turning point looming. The Spurs, known for their discipline and strategy, took successive trips down the floor that showcased their evolving defensive schemes. After a flurry of turnovers from both teams, it was San Antonio who began to find rhythm as they tightened screws on the defensive end while simultaneously finding their footing on offense. Then the tide began to rise. A pivotal stretch midway through the third quarter began to define the tone of the game. The Spurs orchestrated an electric run that put Minnesota on the defensive, amplifying not just the score, but the mood within the building. The team capitalized on mismatches and aggressive defensive rebounds, pushing the pace and exploiting gaps left by the Timberwolves. Forcing turnovers, they suddenly grasped a firm grip on the game. Before fans could blink, the momentum had swung drastically. It was a tale of two halves, and San Antonio's defensive acumen, teamed with timely buckets, displayed the evolution of their game plan. As that third quarter unfolded, the Spurs elevated their game, relentlessly attacking the rim and converting when it mattered most. Each basket felt like a statement, and every defensive stop turned the heat on Minnesota. By the time the final quarter rolled around, the Timberwolves were struggling to find scoring options and were plagued by missed chances from their primary scorers. Their frustration was palpable as San Antonio continued to lock down their best offensive threats. The Spurs, invigorated by their own success, were relentless, closing in on victory as the minutes drained away. And just like that, the clock ticked down, with the Spurs systematically taking control, yielding a powerful performance. By the time the buzzer sounded, San Antonio Spurs had it 96-60, a commanding display that put the league on notice. They showcased what happens when strategy meets execution. The significance of this game cannot be overstated. Standouts like Victor Wembanyama, despite not hitting the scoresheet, personified a cohesive team effort, giving life to the Spurs defense, even when points were hard to come by. Julian Champagnie and Devin Vassell streamlined their roles, funneling energy into crucial moments that ultimately provided the lift. On the opposite end, the Timberwolves faced a frustrating evening. Players like Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle, expected to drive offensive momentum, encountered a sturdy Spurs defense that that dictated the pace. Their inability to score put their entire strategy on the back foot, leading to missed opportunities that haunted them throughout the night. This showcase ultimately highlighted the Spurs' depth, strategy, and resilience. They not only claimed victory, they made a definitive statement about their capabilities moving forward. In a game dictated by defense and a few critical offensive surges, San Antonio truly proved they could rise amidst adversity and claim a commanding win on the hardwood.